Hey, it's the Tuesday build with me and John, who is still on mute, which is unusual for John. We usually can't shut him up. How are you, John?
Oh, good, thanks.
Good. Omnibus build today. Yay.
Yeah.
How
Or
have you got on with it?
Omnibus bus is. Oh well, yeah, okay. So nothing's happened during the week. Obviously, we're waiting for the streams. But what I have managed to do is create some what do they call them? Twigs. I've made
Twix.
2 pairs of Twigs.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they look like chocolate bars.
They
So
do.
they look tasty.
They look like
But
Mars
then,
bars.
yeah, they're my Twix bars. So yeah, that'll be building this up today. So putting the glazing in, and by the end of the stream, hopefully I'll have the sides on. But then again, I've been ambitious before with this. But I'll get to this stage today. No, I do not. But we shall see. But yeah, Twix.
I too have painted the seats, but I've gone for something slightly different. I shall show you now. Because I've had a go at putting a pattern on it. Focus.
Ah,
There you go. Because on the pictures, the seats had little patterns on, didn't they?
yeah.
Oh yeah, I
How
had a go at
did
doing
you
that.
do that? Is that like a net over the top?
Yeah, I've got piece of fabric. It's like mesh stuff. I have got it here somewhere, but I can't find it now. And I
You're
just
wearing
held
fishnet stockings, aren't
Oh yeah, that's what it must be. It must be Nick's mystery Nick's fishnets.
they?
Must have been where I got it from. But yeah, I held that over it and then primed it black, and then held the net over it whilst I sprayed dark earth through it.
Right.
So yeah, nice. So, ooh, that's awfully wonky today. Look, I've got the logos for watch face. Now it's in English. Now it's in Welsh. How fun is that? Anyway, shall we go through the chat?
Please.
Yes, please shut up rambling and go through the chat. Julian says, first comment and lube. Wonderful.
Oh, Gary's second.
With a cat.
Well, meow.
JT says third.
Oh, no.
You're not a turd, mate. Oh, third.
He goes on to say, I always wondered if omnibuses in the Vatican were considered mass transit. Very good.
He also says, for some nuns, bad jokes can be a habit.
Oh, lordy. Paul's in. He says, greetings, JT. RIP Steve Luscombe.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Julian says, morning all. Hello, Julian.
Tiff says, good morning, folks. We are all ready for another stream, are we? Good. All aboard. Don't forget to hit that lube button. Thank you, and enjoy the ride.
Yes. Julian says, well, what I could wish for is a boiler that isn't totally stuffed and needs replacing. Bloody expensive if I can't get a grant. Hope to find out today whether I can or not. Yeah.
Joe's in. He says, good morning, afternoon, evening to all. Slept a little longer today. Let me go turn on that coffee maker ASAP. Hope everyone is feeling well today. Certainly am.
Yeah. GM says, greetings, passengers. Sitting comfortably, are we? Oi, this GPS isn't working again. We won't know where we are lost yet again. I want a refund. Gimme. Lol.
Joe says, every morning my alarm's a bit different. Today it was the UK's hot chocolates on 78. Everyone's a winner, baby. That's the truth. It's going to be a good day.
Patrick says, good day, everyone.
Joe says, I've had hot chocolate was hot in the 8th grade. Good times.
Ooh. Phil says, good morning, everyone, and hello, Tiff. Hello.
Bob's in says, good day. All painkillered early, so expect random wordings and possibly not reaching end of stream. Right.
That's all right, buddy.
You do you.
Absolutely.
Yes. You won't get paid any more for full attendance.
No. Jim says, greetings to all on screen and in chat. Hello, Jimothy.
Hello, Jim. Ian says, hello. Lol, Twix seats. Twix are more dome-shaped, hey? But hey, well, yeah, I guess they are. Well, some sort of chocky bar anyway. These are the portions that I think chocolate bars are coming in these days, so it's rather ironic.
Nick says, mystery box is listening. Afternoon all. Hello, Nick. I was using your fishnet last night.
Julian says, reminds me about the two nuns smoking, but I won't go on with that joke, just having remembered there may be young'uns watching or young nuns watching. Maybe it's a typo.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I can't find that material. It's gone somewhere. Yeah, it was useful. So, yeah, let's crack on.
Cool.
What else have you been up to today, John?
Well, I went out to Frontline Hobbies. I was about to say Fighterwell, but that's tomorrow. Because I mentioned in the chat yesterday that the Better Looking Marley sent me a video of a vegan flying around.
Yeah.
Well, he's sponsored me a plane that he reckons I should stop building crap and build what I want to build. So he sponsored me a model kit.
Ooh.
Showing here. A vegan.
Oh, nice.
Special Hobby 48 scale vegan. And they're not cheap. So thank you, Better Looking Marley. It'll be done after the one I'm going to start tomorrow, which is the Tornado. Because I also got delivery today of the Quinta Studio set for the Tornado, which means I can start the interior, because that's the first step.
Oh, yeah, painted all this as well. How lovely is that red colour?
Nice. Alrighty, so where to start? I think I'll take that off. Move that away so I don't break it.
On that bit first.
So I reckon, I'm going to glaze these windows first, see how far I get, because I'm not going to put the top on today. So I've got a it's a red-brown deck there. I haven't decided whether to paint that a RLM 26, so sort of actual red-brown instead of chocolatey brown. But
I'd say the red-brown looks better. More red one.
That's the way it goes.
I've gone for a glorious Ferrari red, so it's a really fast bus.
Yeah, but I don't think that'll go on today, because I do want to leave the lid off, because I've got my reaching across to these things. I primed 3 figures ready to go. So I've got the Bobby. Hopefully it'll sit beside the driver, who's totally armless.
Yes.
Because the steering wheel isn't on, and the nice lady. The lady is hopefully going to be sitting.
The lady of the manor.
Well, there we go. So we'll see. She's just she likes chocolate bars, so she's down there. Actually, she's shrunk. She's on the floor. Anyway.
Are you stereotyping women then, John, saying that they all like chocolate?
Not at all. No, I'm just saying this one's a little bit of a hussy.
Maybe she's Mrs. Cadbury's.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Mrs. Roundtree from 42. Yeah, anyway. So, believe I'm up to... Yep. Okay, so... Yeah, so the seats are in. So the next step is, for me, step 50 and 51, which is the side glazing. And once the side walls are on, then I've got these little brackets that go in between the 2 seats, which he's going to be sitting up against. Oh, yeah, but glazing it is. I don't think you'll notice any difference in my kit by the end of today's sesh, because it's all, well, it'll be quite clear. Unintended.
Delightful.
I do have, if I'll get around to it, I've got the brass fire extinguisher and 2 of the headlights to paint as well. So it depends. I might get around to them later on.
Yeah.
But, oh, crapulent. Okay. No, I'd forgotten that I've got the seat backs that I haven't given a wash. So I should do them actually right now and let them start drying over the next week. So they're painted the right colour, but yeah. So I gave them a wash with dark umber oil. So I shall do that immediately. Nah, bugger it. Nah.
JT says, with my bad jokes, are you sure you guys miss me? Laugh out loud. John looks like he's gearing up for summer.
Well, starting it, yeah. The weather's on the turn, so it's getting warmer here. We're heading closer to the sun.
Jem says, Julian, 4 nuns waiting at confession. The first one, whoops.
Okay.
Julian, we get paid at all for attendance? Did I miss a memo? You get paid in respect and gratitude. Ian says, there may be young nuns watching. There's a revelation.
Yeah. One day closer to rapture. No, that's not, Catholicism. That's the happy clappers.
You mean the Catholics don't believe in the rapture?
No, it's no. I mean, yeah, there's going to be a salvation and all that sort of stuff like that, but going up with to be handed a suit of armor, a shield, and a sword like our friend Charlie apparently doesn't happen.
Okay. Not saying you're right or wrong,
because I don't know.
Exactly. Each to his own beliefs. JT says the funniest move was Nuns on the Run, Eric Idle, and the actor who played Hagrid were funny.
Yeah, Ruby Coltrane.
Yeah.
Which is what I call all the coal trains that run around here delivering coal to the docks to send to China. I call them all Robbie. Although when they're coming back empty, I call them Coal Porter because, it's even funnier.
Okay. Julia says, oh, very nice looking vegan kit.
It actually is. Yeah. Because the last one I built, which was about 30 years ago, was the Esky kit. ESCI, Esky, one of the two, Esky. And it was not great. It was of its time. This one, it comes, a paint mask set is available to do the forest scheme, so it's going to look awesome.
Yeah. Duke says, good day, all you beautiful people.
Hello, Duke.
Hello, the Duke.
Okay.
Joe says, speaking of chocolate, wife made me promise not to buy Halloween candy this year. No kids trick-or-treating in our neighborhood, so I ended up eating all the peanut butter cups. Not good for me. That's the sort of thing I'd do. Oh, no. Should have painted fit for the long cream. Never mind. I can always paint it. Jim says, the special hobby vegan. Have you built an SH model before, Mr. Marley?
I don't believe I have. Don't believe I have. I'd remember it, I guess.
Yeah, I imagine you would.
They've got some interesting things available that are like only in, they've got lots of variation and stuff. They're not short-run kits, but they're not bad. It looks okay. I'm not going to complain before I start. Looking gift horse in the mouth and all that.
Well, yeah, that'd be a bit impolite, wouldn't it?
Wow.
In fact, it'd be damn rude. GM says, special hobby vegan. Just read that one. JT says, John has a topless bust today. Ooh la la.
Yes.
PT says, what do you call a nun sitting on a clown's shoulder and virgin on the ridiculous?
Nice one, Centurion. Like it.
Julian Youngens, I think there's probably an age restriction on being a nun. Yeah, 18, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
Can't call yourself a Catholic.
Well, I can't call myself a nun.
Julian says, too quick for me, Tiff. I was about to click those held comments. I'm impressed. Jim says, Joe, you got peanut butter in my chocolate. You got chocolate in my peanut butter. Alrighty then. Bob says, chocolate liqueurs, best of both worlds. Yes.
Oh, yeah. All right, now I'm going to do...
JT says, what weapons do nuns use when taking martial arts? Nunchucks. Bob says, please inform me of correct spelling for alcohol-filled chockies. Liqueur, yeah, Liqueur, I think. Something like that.
Sounds right. Liqueur, yeah.
Dieter says, quick hello. Quick hello back.
Hello, Dieter.
No, it's hello. It's a quick hello.
Hello. I regret nothing.
He says, GM, I think my daughter used to watch it. Not worried about being too neat on this end bit because it's pretty much going to be hidden. Julian says, now, GM and Paul will have none of that.
All right.
JT says, Rapture is a good song by Blondie.
It is, yeah.
Bob says, JT, memory finally worked. Robbie Coltrane. There we go. GM, Bobby, as long as it tastes yummy, who cares about the spelling? The grammar N words. Bob says, ha, beat Nodge to it. Junior says, gotcha. I was looking for Hagrid in the Nuns on the Run cast. Dope. Let's try for a minute. Hobby Town says, hi, guys. Hello. How the devil are you?
So Robbie Coltrane years ago did a series, a TV series called Coltrane's Planes and Automobiles. It was fascinating because every show he'd look at a different thing that revolutionized
industry, transport.
So there's 6 series. So in no particular order. Well, actually, the order they came out: the Imperial steam engine, the workhorse diesel, the exhilarating supercharger, the laid-back V8, the noisy, smelly two-stroke, and the jet, the engine that went on to shrink the world. So fascinating series, and he was just a fan of power and stuff like,
power.
Nice to have interests and hobbies, but yeah, if you can, you'll find it somewhere. It might even be on YouTube. Coltrane's Planes and Automobiles. Fantastic, love it.
Sounds interesting. Sounds like something I'd enjoy watching.
I have a copy of it. I could forward it to you.
Yeah, I used to watch Fred Dibner. He was good. JT says, Robert, no relation to Roscoe P. Did you ever watch Fred Dibner, John?
I have no idea who you're talking about.
He was a steeplejack who became famous, and he did loads and loads of documentaries on Victorian engineering and things because he loved steam engines and stuff like that. It was really interesting, and he'd go and look at architecture and all sorts.
There you
go. Bob says, GM, you're absolutely correct. We started off doing video documentaries about him climbing up the big bloody old Victorian chimney stacks and stuff and taking them down by hand and things like that. And he would literally he wouldn't have any safety equipment. He'd just go up, tie a ladder to put anchors into the wall, and then just tie his ladders to the wall of the chimney and just climb up it all the way to the top, and then just walk around on a platform he made by hand with bits of rope and scaffold tied together.
Yeah.
It was mad.
Seems, yeah, you wouldn't be able to do that now.
No. Well, one of the things one of the cameramen asked him was, "What do you do if you need the toilet up there?" And he said, "Well, you just sort of go." He said, "Nobody can see you." He said, "You just got to make sure the wind's blowing in the right direction." He said, "Because otherwise, someone's going to get their washing turned a funny colour." Jim says, regarding the big one, built the Matchbox kit many decades back, hand painted the splinter pattern.
Yeah, it's worth it. It takes forever, but they look great.
Hobby Time says, "Hi, Jim." Lady Sam says, "Hi, John and Mike and chat." Hello, Lady Sam.
Hello, Sam.
Timmy says, "John is partially correct. Catholics don't have a rapture per se, but we wait for the second coming of Christ that lines with the end of times."
That's right. Yeah, of course. That's well known. But
See,
no, we don't have this big event where,
half the people
all
float
the
up
music
to the sky.
plays and, all the people of other faiths are left behind. And yeah, that just doesn't make sense to me.
No, doesn't make sense to me either. Bob says, "JT, change, go to Bibby, and you're close." Okay.
Which way?
Jim says, "Julian, Hagrid was in Nuns on the Run, something we don't know about here." Maybe not.
No, it's funny show.
Julian says, "Egyptologists have discovered another tomb in the Valley of the Kings. This one was covered in chocolate and nuts. They think it's the Pharaoh Rocher." That was good. I like that one. Joe says, "Mikey, Jim's comment was in reference to an old TV commercial for peanut butter cups." Oh, okay. Jim says, "Joe, I knew you'd get it, Joe."
Yeah.
Jim, Timmy, it's all in the book of Revelation. Ready or not, be ready.
Oh, don't want that one. It's about to use brew goo on Windows. I don't want to do that.
Julian says, "Better late than never." Pringles, Prifangle, Mikey, and Evening Nodge. Yeah, you've only been commenting for like the last 20 minutes, dude. PT says, "Yes, it was a good show." Yeah. There's loads of Fred Didden stuff on YouTube. You'd really enjoy it, John. Jim says, "Robbie Coltrane was also in 1989 version of Henry V."
He was. Let's see, Kenneth Branagh one. He played not Falkirk. Name escapes me. Starts with F.
I don't know. Jim says, "Julian, the Egyptians had chocolates." Bob says, "I used to have the Coltrane series on VHS, lost in a move, boohoo, mode active for weeks after." Coltrane. Sorry, what were you saying, John?
It's a great series. Yeah.
Coltrane was in a great TV series called Cracker, also as the Russian with a limp in a couple of Bond movies. Bond was asked if he knew him. He replied, "I gave him the limp." Yes. Kieran says, "Afternoon all." Hello, Kieran.
Hello, Kieran.
Ian says, "Getting stuck behind Fred Dibner's steam tractor and caravan on the roads of Lancashire wasn't fun." Yeah, he used to actually have like a steam tractor that he'd drive around to shows and stuff and just go for drives in. JT says, "What is Osher's favourite song?" The Safety Dance.
Yeah.
Philip says, "Fred Dibner was a great character." Yeah. PT says, "My mother-in-law was a witness." JT says, "Timmy wants to listen to Bob Marley now." Julian, Paul, as opposed to me, I'm witless protection. In witless protection. GM says, "Don't forget Blaster Bates, ex-RAF, became a demolition expert. Really funny storyteller." JT says, "OSHA, Occupational Safety Hazard Administration."
Yeah, we just call it WHS here. It used to be OH&S.
We call it HSE. It's Health and Safety Executive. because it sounds posh.
Sounds like they have a hissy fit.
Yeah, well, really, they're just a bunch of Jobsworths.
Bunch of what?
Jobsworths.
Jobsworth. You mean chinless wonders?
Yes.
Right.
Stick to the rules for the rules' sake. You don't understand that sometimes you need to deviate from them slightly. Because they have no real world experience in the job. There you go. That's close enough. Okay. Right. So I need to glue that on now. Where is the glue? PT says, 2 Germans digging up an Egyptian tomb, looking inside, one noticed it was empty. He called, "Look, Hans, no mummy." And Ian says, "Lol, Paul."
Right. So you can have these windows posable. I'm choosing to have the windows open near where the lady's sitting, and some of them shut. So just a variation.
Sounds good to me. In fact, it sounds like a bloody excellent idea.
Now that way around.
That's the front on. Where did that's where I put them. Where did the seats go? Or which way does it go?
So this is episode 13.
It is.
So by the end of this, we would have done 26 hours on this kit, and we're nowhere near finished.
You. But we have had fun.
Oh, such a good kit. There we go.
Would you say, on the seats, the parts with the curve in is the back, isn't it?
Yes.
Backrest. Yeah.
Yes. It tucks behind those ones there. Tucks in that red space there.
Yeah. Thought so. Like that. And then like that. Just like that.
Like that.
Yeah, just like that. And then another one. JT says, "Paul, my grandfather was Hans." Julian, HSE often get blamed for stupid rules and stuff people can't be bothered with. Oh, it's health and safety. Much easier than admitting they couldn't be bothered. Yes. Usually true, though. That's a health and safety problem. Health and safety is everyone's responsibility. GM says, Blaster always knew when his old Model T was going fast, the amp meter was showing a good 15 amps going downhill. Bob says, HSE twits wouldn't let me work on a machine with the power on. I just stood in front of it. Production manager blew up. I said, where is the power flow? Can't find it with no power. HSE dismissed. Yeah. PT says, that is why it's never dark in Germany. Many hands make light work.
Very good.
I like it. Okay.
Okay.
Now, would you say, if you look at the shape of the seat, the actual seat, on one side, it's lower than the other. Would you say the lower part goes to the front or the back?
Sorry, the backrest or the actual cushion on the bottom?
The actual cushion on the bottom.
I didn't notice it was lower on one side than the other.
Yeah, if you put your finger on it.
Well,
It's
too
got
late now. It's
down
stuck in
the side.
place. I don't know. I just thought they were just symmetrical.
I'm going to say the bit that looks squashed is probably the bit that goes to the back because it's pressed against the seat. Like that. I would say that looks about right, as opposed to that.
Well,
Oh, I don't know actually,
no, I don't know.
because there is a difference.
I've made mistakes before, so if I've omitted a difference, then I've no one to blame but Gary.
Actually, that works because I don't even have to place it. I don't even have to glue it on, and it sits there if it's on that way. Yeah. Oh God, we've got more. JT says, "Did you hear about the watchmaker in the Navy? They hit a swell, and it was all hands on deck." Duke says, "There's a paper on HMS Victory with the occupational health and safety. Nothing would be done because everything was against regulations." Yes, that's very true. Julian says, "Best I ever heard was a new fire station in England. The firemen weren't allowed to use the poles because health and safety said they were dangerous, allegedly." Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the same like us, Air Force. Like, you can't use a boarding ladder for a Hornet because it's dangerous.
Yeah. How are you supposed to get in the Hornet?
Well, they board in these huge ladders, of course, that you'd move around.
Yeah.
But then, of course, you deploy, and those ladders aren't there. So what do? Oh, let's sign off a risk assessment. It's okay for this trip, and then the F-35 comes along, and they just sort of do what they want anyway.
Yeah.
So it's
But
all
you're
just
not bitter at all, are you, John?
no, just like because I was in the safety roles. The last thing I was doing there, and I was adamant that these aircraft are loud. The main concern of the troops was how much louder the engines were compared to the Hornet, and there was a solution that we were trying to implement, but my supervisor basically said no to it just because headquarters said no, and the other two squadrons were pushing against headquarters saying, well, come down here. Oh, we have. Yes, but you only come down when we're not flying.
Yeah.
They look at the fly pro before they come down. So you bring them down and, oh, no. So at the end of it, I said, so this is how it is. What's your answer? And he said, oh, I'm not going to recommend we do that. The solution was $178 for each guy. And they're saying, we don't have the money for that. And I just said, this is during the height of COVID. So you're going to go to Japan with the whole squadron, have 2 weeks in isolation in hotels here before you go, have 2 weeks in isolation when you get there, stay there for 3 days, and 2 weeks isolation when you come back, pay for all of that. And you're not going to pay for $170 for each person. You're a pack of assholes. So throw in the towel then.
Yeah. Military is a wonderful beast, isn't it?
Different lot of money. Just thinking, yeah, you're a dickhead, piss off.
You're not at all bitter, are you, John?
No, the guy was a cockspank. He was a dangerous fool. He's the sort of guy, I'd seen him time and time again. When he's away from the cameras, he would just get it done, instead of doing it the right way.
Yeah.
No, I was into procedures and processes and stuff like that.
These sort of have to be with aircraft, isn't it? It's not as forgiving as vehicles.
Well, it depends on what you're doing and what it's there for and why it's there and
Well, generally with vehicles you can get away with bodging as long as it's not something to do with the brakes or stuff like that.
Yeah, you're right.
Bodywork and stuff you can sort of bodge, but you can't do that with aircraft because bits fly off and the plane comes down. JT says, talk about too many dinguses. I saw a video of restoring a World War II wristwatch. Ooh.
Oh,
GM says, JT, were those German hands on deck? Very good. Ian says, they used to have those poles in playgrounds. Yeah, I remember them. JT says, yes, Gary, my grandfather was German. Heard he was a character and a good man. Joe says, at our Houston field office, our H and safety officer had his government vehicle taken away for having too many vehicle accidents. Julian says the HSE website has a whole section dedicated to myths about X is against health and safety. Their statement being, no, it bloody isn't. Stop blaming us.
sorry. X is against health and safety.
Yeah, X is in insert task here.
Okay, right, okay.
Duke says, I went to a course and the OHS rep said a factory owner asked him to make it 100% safe. He said, sack all of your workers because people make mistakes. Best OHS rep I ever saw.
Yeah. Joe said he always offered to take him to lunch if he paid.
Yeah.
Julian says, great reply, Duke. So another case in point, when the Poseidon aircraft took over the Orion had an inbuilt boarding ladder, like an integral thing. It was a pain in the ass because it was years old and it worked, but they were starting to wear out. But you had no choice because, just the way the aircraft was. The Poseidon, being a BBJ, Boeing business jet, like a 737, this one had an inbuilt integral boarding ladder. They hit a button in the nose wheel, it'll slide out and then down, roundabout for the forward entrance door, right? We're not allowed to use it because it's the inbuilt ladder is not built to Australian standards. I'm just thinking, yeah, right, Boeing built it, you dickhead. They've already done the risk assessment and everything else. Oh, no, but I need to put my name on it. Yeah, again, you're a flog. Get out of that role.
They should have promoted you to Air Vice Marshal. It made things easier.
Oh, well.
You could have sat in an office and criticised everyone all day.
Okay, third point. Third point, and then I'll shut up. The squadron, 2ICU on Hornets, we all deployed to Townsville. So the only people that were left behind were people that weren't deployable, whether it be medical things, but they weren't allowed on the flight line either. So that, no, different reasons. But yeah, while we were gone, BAE came in and did some work, and an aircraft was on jacks. They needed to do retraction, so they actually jacked it higher. Somebody's working on the top, on the LEX, the leading edge extension. And they had a step ladder, so you could just get up the ladder. That's those little sort of wheel stands that when you put pressure on them, the wheels collapse. It's like they use in libraries and stuff. Yeah. One of them. So he'd step from that step onto the LEX. And the aircraft was jacked high one day. So while we were gone, the safety guys from headquarters came down and did an audit and gave us a corrective action report, because somebody had jacked up the aircraft and stuff. Now, none of the people working on the aircraft were from our squadron. It's bloody pathetic. So I'm showing it to my boss, saying, how the hell are we going to sign this off when none of our people did anything wrong? It's contractors. Yeah. Oh, it's your hangar. You're responsible. How? Like, we're literally, 1,500 kilometers away.
Yeah.
Fornicate Air Force.
GM says, John M., Yes, I can constantly tangle with idiots at squadron level. We seem to average around 7. We would get them posted away only to receive 7 other idiots.
Yeah, I was probably one of those 7.
JT says, did the Poseidon aircraft fly upside down? Sounds like an adventure. Did it fly the morning after?
Well, it had to if you had a problem with the sonar release system, but more about that on the dark web.
Not that we condone the use of the dark web, obviously.
No. I don't believe it exists. Just like the Rapture.
What's the dark web? Don't know what you talk about, mate. Don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Morris is in another. Mr. Morris was in another news article today, wasn't he? Or yesterday?
He was. Well, yes, I saw your link.
Yes. Oh, he posted another one.
Oh, did
he? Yeah. June said, Stepladder, didn't he run the FA? Oh, hang on, that was Sepp Blatter. Don't blame me. That was Hugh Dennis's gag. Okay. Don't follow football, so I wouldn't know. Do I look like the sort of person who follows sport? Jim says, JT Leslie Nielsen was the ship's captain in Poseidon Adventure.
And the ship's doctor in the Love Boat was the head of Chaos in Get Smart.
Ooh. JT says, Jim, yes. Lovely. Right. Slowly starting to come together.
Doom, 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 doom.
Oops. Okay. Oh yeah, I did the wood in the middle as well.
Oh, what he said.
There you go. Julian says, also reminds me of the guy who said, this is my stepladder. I never knew my real ladder.
I do like that.
JT says, Bernie Cooper was the doctor on Love Boat.
Yes, he was. It was Siegfried.
Sorry?
He played Siegfried in Get Smart.
Oh, Siegfried. Okay. Jim says, JT, and stop calling me Shirley. JT says,
it's not a dirty word.
laugh out loud, the Nut Rockner speech he did in Airplane was funny. Yeah. And he says, since Hugh's gag, I always call stepladders Sepp Blatter. Duke, we don't oops at Chaos Striker.
We don't oops at Chaos Striker. Nothing. 6 destroyers. Nothing. 6 destroyers.
GM says, Mikey, when I reached air rank, I wasn't stuck behind a desk. I was out every day chasing idiots away. AM Binskin was often with me. He hated the idiots we had to deal with. I left in 2003 for the ROCAF.
Yeah. So, Air Marshal Binskin went on to become Chief of Australian Air Force.
Bob says, Agent 99, trying to think of an ice cream joke, failing. Yeah, the junior ranks will always take the piss out of the senior ranks. I'd say they do nothing. Hence the old joke, don't call me sir, I work for a living.
Oh, actually, I'll be back in a sec. I'll just go and grab a book.
Wait Rose says, first time I was issued a bayonet, the QM sighed and told me regs meant he was obliged to warn me it had a sharp edge. Yes. Did you know they don't even sharpen them now unless you're actually going out onto the front line in case you cut yourself? They actually keep them blunt. unless you're actually on frontline combat operations. Because they're dangerous. The fact they're designed, they're very designed, means that even if they're blunt, if you get stuck with one, it will splay your ribs apart, because that's what they're designed to do. You know. JT says, got to concentrate, concentrate. Echo, 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 pinch hitting, Manny, moto. There we go. Jim says, afternoon, Commander Evans. And Jim says, Waitrose, watched the MB airplane build this morning, Gary. A nice build, a nice model you turned out. My compliments. My compliments to you, sir. Who, sir? You, sir. He's back. Julian says, JT, you having a moment? Oh no, I'm almost out of coffee.
What?
Wife, where are you?
I'm trying to decide how many windows to have open, because I do like the look of that.
Yeah.
They don't open much, but they open enough. That makes sense.
Yeah. I've done all my frames closed. It's winter.
Yeah, I figured they'd be driving around London, so it's going to be, cold, wet, and miserable.
I'm full of horse poop at the time.
And everybody out protesting the right of women to vote. The good old days.
1919, the men were only just getting the right to vote. Let alone the women. JT says, bad news, fog is rolling in and Leon's getting larger.
Yeah. And that's, the guy who says that is, what's his name? The director, Richie from Happy Days. Richard Cunningham? What's his name? He's a director.
Oh.
Someone will tell me. Well, it's his brother anyway.
Julie says, agreed, Jim. The MB3 was a lovely build. Oops. Waitrose says that there's the old story of the gate guard when someone in civvies drove up to the gate and gave his ID over. Guard says, ACM. Bit old for an aircraftsman, mate. ACM, Air Chief Marshal. Yeah. Jim says, Gary, by the way, see any of last night's Bears game? I won't spoil it for you if you didn't. JT, Julian, all the lines from airplanes are in my head. Okay. Joe, yes, that's MB3 was awesome looking. Waitrose, Jim, no, I didn't, mate. And he says, Ron Howard.
That's right, yes. Ron Howard's brother, Clint Howard, says, then Leon's getting larger.
Alrighty then. GM says, Gary E., we had ceremonial Wilkinson swords. We made sure the things were sharp.
Oh, yeah.
Nick says, Waitrose, the next mystery conundrum will be packed up by the post tomorrow. Ooh, what will it be? Who knows? Well, that is the point of the game.
So apart from the vegan kit, the other things I got today in the mail, this is a top-notch mask set for you can guess, the FX Sepcat Jaguar, so hooray.
Yes.
48 scale. And now I had these. These are Kits World 3D printed sort of things for, as you could read there, if I could focus it. Tornado GR4, right? But it's an early one because it's got the round radar for the weapon system officer. Anyway, I used these on the previous Tornado build. I was not happy with them. They're not that great. So I replaced them today with Quinta Studios ones, which are significantly nicer.
Oh, they
You
are
can
nice.
see a lot more raised detail and whatnot. So, comparing the two, like let's go side instrument panel.
Yeah,
One's
that's
nicer than the other.
yeah.
All right, and it comes with this bit. It's a 3D printed weapon system officer TARDIS in there.
Ooh,
Isn't that nice? So
yeah.
so that I'll need this for the first step of the tornado. So that's next on the bench. Hooray!
Cool. I shall enjoy seeing that. 'Cause I like tornadoes.
As well, you should.
Yeah,
Awesome aircraft.
they're the first proper like military jet that I saw.
Well, it's probably the last military jet that I saw. We only have one in Australia. It's in a museum in Western Australia, which I have not been to.
Oh.
Paul has, so.
PT says, "Did you hear about the woman at the airfield walking backwards into a spinning propeller? Disaster." Yeah, she was taking a photo, wasn't she? She was trying to take a photo of someone, and she stepped back into the prop.
Is this recently?
Yeah, it's last couple of months.
Oh wow!
Young photographer.
Wow, that's no good.
No.
There's been some awful footage of plane crashes lately and helicopter crashes and stuff. It's just around different parts of the world, and there's some things happening that are not great.
No, sir. Junior says, "Afternoon, Nick." Joe says, "Jim, what a strange year in the NFL. Just don't bring up the Cowboys." Shh.
I had my aircon service. I had a problem with my territory, Ford Territory aircon, and I took it to a couple of places, and they'd never fix it. And they were arguing with each other what it was. Anyway, went down to Melbourne, got it fixed down there. I went to this place. It was run by some Indian Sikhs, right?
Okay.
I can't remember the name of it, but it's certainly one of those long sort of Hindu sort of names, right, of the continent.
Okay.
And their slogan was, "You've tried the Cowboys, now try the Indians." And they fixed it so well. It was really, really good. Never had a problem with it again until everything else on the car died.
Yeah. Waitrose says, "Nick, woohoo!" JT, hello, Gary Evans. TVG, hi, everyone. Hello, TVG. Waitrose says, "GM, my dad's divisional officer had to order present arms for an admiral's visit. Saluting with the sword on the downstroke, he took a nick out of the cloth above the admiral's knee. Whoops."
Yay.
Duke, that looks nothing like a TARDIS, John.
Yeah, that's what they called it.
JT says, "Paul, that is sad. Amazing how dangerous aircraft are." Yes. Waitrose says, "Admiral coolly says, better luck next time," and moved on. CPO says, "My cabin 5 minutes, sir." GM Waitrose, a woman asked me once if the rank AC meant Air Commodore. What did LAC stand for? Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Julian, Mikey, in Nick's mystery box kit will be a kit in a specific scale by a particular manufacturer of a specific subject. As for the specifics, I don't have a Scooby. Yeah. Hovertime says, "Hi, James." TVG says, "Hi, Gordon." And Waitrose says, "GM, now we have to say air specialist as an aircraftsman is not gender neutral." Yeah.
Well, they changed it in Australia now. They call them aviators instead of airmen, which is bloody ridiculous because, it's gender neutral. And I'm just thinking, well, no, it's not, because if you look at it, men back in the day were called aviators and women were called aviatrixes. So they've just made the problem worse because, Air Force.
Well, that and the fact that it's not it's job neutral as well. So it makes no sense.
Exactly.
because not
So the
everyone.
conversation is GM was talking about, what does LEC stand for? That's what happened here. So this is me meeting the opposition leader of Australia at the time during the MH370 search and rescue. And he got to the end of the line after this guy, and he sort of said, like, ours is LAC, someone or other. And he said, LAC, does that like LAMI, which is licensed aviation mechanical engineer in Australia? And my boss said, "Oh no, sir, LAC as a ranker means leading aircraftsman." And he just went on to say, "Oh yeah, because I did a lot of work with the LAMIs at Tullamarine and blah 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 blah. Do you have unions in the Air Force?" I said, "No, sir." "Oh really? Why is that? You should." And I said, "No, we really need to get shit done." And it was at that point his advisor says, "Okay, over here, sir," and kept moving and stuff like that. And my boss was like, "Why'd you say that?" And I said, "Because he's wasting my time. Can I get back out and fix a plane, please?"
He's wasting my time and I don't like him.
Well,
Jim
he
says,
was just in the way, because every day we had another politician come through just wasting time.
yeah, looking for their photo op.
Yeah, like, we support what you're doing. Yeah, you could do that by standing over there.
Yeah, stay well away from the aircraft whilst we start the engines up.
Anyway.
Or if
Jim
you feel
says,
like for the intakes. Yeah.
Jim says, at Joe Leal, fair enough, Joe. However, it's time for Jerry to turn the family business over to his son and ride off into the multi-million-dollar yacht. Yes, does sound all right. Go for it says, hello. Hello. Go for it. JT says, why did the company commander hack off soldiers' arms? The regimental commander ordered him to present arms. Joe says, I like him as an owner, not a general manager. It's time to get one. I'm available.
I don't like the front end of this bus. Or the back end, sorry. Doesn't go on very well.
No? TBG says, Martin Baker ejection seats took out more hawker apprentices and motorbikes. And that's why we had ejector seat safety courses. That and the fact that they're really complex devices. Yeah. JT says, Joe, I knew a general manager who was a major pain. Funny movie, that.
Yeah. Where he goes to break the kid's hands, teach him about pain, take his mind off the pain.
Oh, yeah. Jim says, TBG, your tour of old school Tamiya kits continues. Keep them coming. I love it. Julian says, so they're called aviators despite their jobs not to fly? Yeah, that makes sense. Well, yeah, it's like, it's just a thing. Like, I don't understand, because women never had a problem being called, like, because it was in emails and everything else, it was LAC/W. So, because they're not going to differentiate between LAC, leading aircraftsman, and LACW, leading aircraftswoman. So in an email, they just all ranks, all that lower rank, it's AC and LACs together. AC, LACW, /W. They don't differentiate between the sexes, but in conversation, aviators and, the whole thing is just stupid. Just a stupid decision. Gary says, Gary E, I'm lost for words. John M, I'm lost for nah, give up. Never had this crap with a Republic of Korea Air Force. Oh yeah. Well, I'm still cranky. JT says, hope present arms wasn't too gory. Paul Marley says, hello folks.
Hey Paul.
And thank you very much, Paul. The not too silent benefactor. Well, because it just told everyone. Julian says, major pain. He was CO General Ake. Was he CO General Ake? Joe says, hey, it's a much better looking Marley. Oh, you just sound too happy about that, Joe. Just first warning. JT says, here's one. Drone pilots are aviators, more like Nintendo players. Yeah. That is a different issue. Did you see what Lockheed Martin have announced today?
No.
So it's a Black Hawk,
All right.
but it's not a Black Hawk.
Okay.
So I'll just bring up the footage. They won't mind because this is free advertising for Lockheed Martin. Well, Sikorsky. And I'll fast forward to the good bit. It's not too far away. There we go. It's a S-70 UAS U-Hawk.
Ooh.
UCAD. Right. An icon of the skies. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so this is it here. So you've seen Black Hawk's landing.
Yeah.
Boosh. Right.
Oh, cool.
So it's a drone Black Hawk.
Nice. Good idea.
Transport 33 tons of yet.
33 tons of cargo is a lot of cargo.
Soldier operated from startup. Well, that's doomed to fail in that case because you still got to service the engines.
It's doomed to failure because nothing is squaddy proof.
And the fact that it'd be like $40 million each, and they're not that expendable, are they?
No. Julia says, at one point, the Oscars changed for Best Female Actor and Best Male Actress in a supporting role. Now, if I something, they're back to saying actress. Yeah.
As far as I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's because the people were voting because it was just all actor. It was one category. Loads of people were voting for male actors because they got more of the sort of more famous roles like action movies and things. And there's more famous male actors than female actors, so the women weren't looking at the awards. Which is kind of obvious that would happen. Because you don't see many leading women in films anymore.
Well, you do.
Not as the title role, though.
Well, that's a problem for Hollywood. I think there's some wonderful women actresses. Jim says, Lockheed Martin, we make war fun. Yes, well. GM says, John M., we had 2 ejection seats fire at 2AD, which is a number 2 aviation depot, test cell. An air cadet fired one while sitting on one. How? Well, that happened at 77 Squadron a couple of years ago. One self-fired and punched through the roof of the test cell, came down in the airman's mess. Yeah, they are dangerous things. Yeah. JT says, Sesame Street had awards for best characters. I wonder who won the Oscar. Oh, very good. What a trash joke. Julian says, LOL, JT. All right. Yeah, I'm going to have all these windows open. And that way, I'm going to waste the entire 2 hours on putting windows in because, nothing ever goes to plan. It's a hell of a notion.
I think I'm going to have to do some touch-up around the edge of that back piece.
That's what she said. Why did your back piece not go on?
I don't know. It just doesn't seem to sit flat.
Which
Didn't
bit?
seem to sit properly around the bottom.
Oh. User error, I'd say.
Yeah. Probably
Be better at modelling.
Yeah. That as well. Git. I love you, but you're... Yes. I think it's because I masked in slightly the wrong place or something.
Doo-dum. Okay. So tomorrow I'm off to Fight a World because I can.
Yes.
On Thursday, I'm going to a mate's place. I'm rewiring his trailer for him.
Ooh.
He had a thing where he stood on the plug, and as he was pushing the trailer back, and it ripped it off. So he just, I could do the whole thing. Could do the rewire. So he says, I'm a black-hander. I got no idea what I'm looking at. Can you do it for me? Sure.
Yeah.
A black-hander is an aircraft mechanic, by the way. Sumpy's airframes because they have oil on their hands. Whereas we were originally queer traders, but not allowed to call us that nowadays. We're white-handers.
I painted the back wrong, but
yeah, so have I. So mine is red, but looking at a photo, the inner pylons, window frames were red as well, so all the way to the roof. So that's the way I'm going to do it. I just haven't yet.
yeah. Dear me. It's just one cock up after another. Still, I'm sure I can rectify it somehow. Just take that off carefully.
Oh, just going backwards looking for.
I'll spray that later. But for now, we shall put this side on. Jim says, question, is the Muppet character Animal a cousin of the distant relative of Oscar the Grouch? Just wondering.
No, I don't think it's ever been expanded upon. So there we go. So I'm going to paint mine that way. So it is red on the bottom, cream window frames, but the inside of the door frame is red. So that's what I'll be copying, whether it be correct or not. I think I will keep the floor upstairs, the red-brown color, because that is quite red-brown compared to that sort of red. So it just is a bit more of a splash of color. But yeah, the seats you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Joe says, Mikey, 26 watching, lube and subscribe. Ooh. Yeah, 27 watching. I don't even know how many likes are on. Come and look. QD says, are you sure you haven't put it on upside down, Mikey? No.
He should be more like me.
Doobie. JT says, Frank Oz would be interested to meet one of the original people in the Muppets.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Obviously, me and Waitrose and Mr. Morris are going to Telford. John is not, because John is at the other side of the planet. So, who in the chat is going to Telford this year? Is my question, basically.
So, people who aren't in the chat that I believe are going to be there because they're at the Think Museum today is the Plastic Posse podcast.
Ooh.
So, it's got Gentry and John Banani and those sort of guys. I think they will certainly make their way over to the Models for Heroes and Friends of Models for Heroes stand, so you'll meet them. If you do meet a guy that talks like he's from Utah, just say John Marley says g'day, and you go, oh, that git, he should shut up about Trump.
They probably won't even recognise me, mate. And I wouldn't recognise them because I haven't watched them. June says, the Razzies are good, opposite to the Oscars, like the Ignobles and the opposite of the Nobles.
Yeah, Ignobles are good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Nobel Peace Prizes and science awards and all that sort of stuff, chemistry, yada, yada. The ignobles are people who do things stupidly, or they actually get good results by looking for something else. They're actually interesting, very interesting.
Happy accident sort of people.
Yeah, like most scientists.
Like you, being the second born.
Yeah.
A happy accident. Waitrose says, if I recall correctly, Animal was supposed to have been inspired by Keith Moon.
Ah.
I don't know who that is.
He used to be the drummer for The Who before he sort of died.
Oh, okay.
Misadventure.
Is that one of those old people bands?
Yes, Michael, yes.
June says 26 watching, 20 likes. Please hit that loot button, 6 of you. Ta very much. Waitrose says Matchbox C Venom is finished. Just saying. Nice.
Wonderful. Can't wait to see that one.
That one. Tiff says 21 likes. There we go.
Madness.
Yesterday's stream has 28 likes. We did well yesterday. And we gained another 3 subscribers during it.
Oh, I'll try harder next time.
GM says, Julian, we had a WOD Payne, Warrant Officer Disciplinary, one of the best characters I met in the 1980s. A man with a wicked sense of humour, always up for a stir. No one was safe. JT says, The Who is amazing. Gary and their contributions to rock.
Yeah. Some brilliant songs there, eh?
Junior says, I need help. I saw the bus Nod showed and thought who was making who makes XM1699. Okay. Nick says, I will be there on Saturday. Excellent. Does that mean I gotta give you a massive hug, Nick, for getting me that Lanchester? Jim says, Waitrose, thank you, sir. That sounds about right. The character certainly does mirror Keith Moon very well. May he rest in pieces. Peace. Waitrose says, ignoble awards are for research that either cannot or should not be replicated.
Yeah. Okay.
GM says, Gary Evans, excellent. We still have Dad's model from 1985 intact in RAN red black wing tip tanks.
Yeah, Royal Australian Navy, of course.
Ah, I see. Junior says, I think the ignobles are for scientific endeavor that really shouldn't be repeated. They're the mad scientists.
Well, aren't they all?
Well, yeah. JT says, I could have imagined £6 million man, a British bionic man, would have been cool. Well, they're not far off that now, because they can replace limbs with bionic arms and things. Jim says, BBC, in a whispering tone, it's not all about what you know and don't know, mate. I know, don't worry.
So Gary's stuff said his Sea Venom is from 805 Squadron, Royal Australian Navy, with red and white checkered tanks.
Ooh. It is. He showed it yesterday. It looks good.
It's beautiful. Right.
Aussie Ian says 23 likes. Hi guys. Hello, buddy.
Hello, Ian.
JT says £6 million man paints another picture though. Yes. Rather large comic book guy type character. JT says, John, too much magic bus.
I like it. I like it.
Nick Johnson says, the only reason I'm going, Mikey. Give Nick a big bear hug. Crush him. June says, XM1699 was the bus registration, Mikey. I told you I need help. Yes, just a little bit. GM says, Waitrose, I've forgotten the squadron kit represents.
Wow.
Okay.
So the Matchbox kit, which Sea Venom that one was, yeah.
Yeah.
not kit the car with a David Hasselhoff thing. That's a different series altogether. So.
Yeah. Yes. TVG says that that's 35033. John says, again, 35033.
Okay.
JT says, I'm cautious around chess plays. So many have a checkered past. Ooh, that's not looking bad. Not looking bad. Not looking too bad. John says, Julian, as opposed to RX 3000, the bumper bracket for a Pinto. All right then.
Yeah, well, a Ford Pinto. XR, it's like a RS 2000, those sort of things.
It's a car.
Yeah, okay, right.
That's all we need to know.
Right, so that's one side done. Crack on with the other side.
Julian says, once the University of Piura had a $1 million grant to discover what caused unpleasant odor in porcine feces. Real, not ignoble. Yep, they paid to stand around smelling pig poop.
Well,
someone's got to do it.
yeah.
Okay.
At least, I guess they know their shit.
I think I need to sand that down.
TBG says, I suspect Julian needs those bumper brackets for his wheeled contrivance. Images of Julian getting on Temu straight away. JT says, asking a modelling question. Wait, this is a modelling forum? Do you guys get paint bleed when you cement?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
It happens. Wait Rose says, kit was FAW.22 of 894 Squadron, HMS Albion, and FAW 23 of 805 Squadron, Royal Australian Navy, and the vendor was NF3 of 151 Squadron, Royal Air Force.
There you go.
Now you know. Didn't see them when I was prepping.
Cool. I'm surprised I haven't broken any of these window panes yet.
Don't speak too soon, John. You know what you like? You'll put them on backwards or something. Or you'll stick it to the seat by accident and not be able to get it off.
Clearly.
Oops. JT says, I remember people reinforcing joints with styrene. Is the kit too delicate to do so? Just don't really need to.
So I'm finding things like this. Once these sidewalls go on, it makes a pretty sturdy box. So once you've got the sub-assemblies together, it does support itself rather well. And it's the same with all the running gear on the chassis. Although it sticks off in all directions and everything else, once it's on, the side rails are sturdy enough that it holds everything with no twisting or anything else. You just got to be careful how you pick them up, because once you break one of these things, it'll be hard to get them to reattach without looking bent.
Yes.
But I don't think it's required so far, John. Touch wood.
You always got to bring your head into it, haven't you?
All right.
I think it's fair to say this is probably my favourite build we're doing at the minute.
Definitely. I'd actually rate this up with my all-time most fun builds, because it's it's quite involved. It's challenging.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that I'm not liking about it. Like, the only problem that I had in the whole build so far was the positioning of a very small part next to the clutch assembly, which was hard to see now. There.
I had to show you how to adapt it, didn't I?
Yeah, but it's all painted black and everything, and I can't even see the part that was offending, because it's under that board there for the driver's feet. So yeah, that was the only bit of thing that needed finagling.
Yeah. June says, "Be right back, Kara here."
Very good.
Excellent.
So I was looking for my second window. Well, it's already there, but you can't see it. It's so clear. Okay. GM says it.
God, sticky bastard.
Oh, I can't bring it up.
No. Oh, Modder's gone on strike, I think.
GM says, Gary E., the kit I built, which is the Matchbox Sea Venom 30 seconds ago, had a red and white checker tip tanks in the box. The decals were shot. I used the red and black tip tank decals instead. I don't have Dad's book with me to know which squadron it was. I think so. I think the way Gary did it, he explained yesterday, I believe he painted his tanks red and then put the white checkers decal on it.
Yes. That sounds right.
Dorkosaurus says, "What you get, Julian? Hi, and good morning, peoples."
Hi, Dorkosaurus.
JT says, "Trying to think of the streams. I like this one and the Monday chat. Are you going to do a mirrored base for the details that you wouldn't otherwise see?"
Nah.
I don't think so.
I don't think I'm going to put this on a base until I do the other one, and then I'll put them on a base together.
I believe I'll put mine on a cobble street because I've got one of those bases somewhere. Well, with the remainder of it.
Yeah, you use most of it for the Whippet.
The Whippet, yeah.
Which was the first build we did on the channel. It was a group build. Which was nice.
Came out well. Whippet good.
I'm trying to think what we could do for dear me. For when we do this next month, the fundraising month for M4H.
1, 2. There we go.
what would people think about doing a channel-wide group build? A themed one.
Vegans all round.
Well, what I was thinking is any build you want, but it has to be painted in a M4H scheme. Models for Heroes scheme. Something like that. Something like that. What do people think? GM says, JT, bleeding paint, what are you using there? Because I think it'd be nice if we did that, got all the photos together, and we could put them and send them to Malcolm or something like that. I don't know. JT says, John, I heard a whip it and you beat me to the punch. Duke says, when is the 4848? It's usually in March or May, I think. Yeah, usually May, isn't it?
Yeah, about that.
PT says, TTFN guys, thanks as always. Glad you like the jokes tonight. No problem.
Yeah, they're great.
And JT says, Gary M. Markham, dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria. You wouldn't think I'd slept for 9 hours last night. God, blimey. It's not you guys, honest. Yeah. So, yeah. We're trying to come up with ideas for what we can do for the month of November.
So the 48 and 48 this year was on the 14th to the 16th of March. So it'll be about that time next year.
Yes.
Calendar adjustments considered.
Good question from Patrick. GM says, Mikey, your email would be bombarded with photos of my build since I'm not on Discord. No, what I would say is specific photos. So, like, maybe 2 to 4 images of the model once it's built. The M4H scheme would be, so you paint it however you want, but you'd have to have the M4H logo on it.
And
you can get the decals from the website.
There you go.
So when you get the M4H decals, you actually get quite a few. I've got some here somewhere.
Duke says the group build sounds like a good plan.
I'll tell you what, I'll just show you the Spitfire I did for the 4848. That's easy.
Mm-hmm.
That's got M4H decals.
Tiff said it'll come out looking kind of like her models for Herbie, which was an awesome build, by the way, Tiff.
It's a bit dusty because it's been sat on the shelf for almost a year.
Oh,
there you go.
Right.
So that's one I did for the 4848 this year. But you don't have to do it in obviously 48 hours like we did these ones. Or I did that one. It'd be you got a month to do it or whatever. But you can get the decals, which have them ones, that and a few other bits on. You can get them from the Models for Heroes website for like, I think they're like £10 or something. Yeah. Which again will help Models for Heroes, so.
JT says, Mikey, you could do a build from people in the stream you don't typically see.
You could do a build from people in stream you don't typically see. What do you mean?
People who don't pop up on Discord and stuff.
Yeah. James says, JT, our dog and cats are fine. The cat's rule here, no mass crazy stuff at all. Jim says, I like that M4H Herbie. Yeah. Did well with that. JT says, I like that spit. Thank you, buddy. So yeah, something like that. I might even end up doing a Smurf in M4H Volunteers uniform or something. That'd be fun. Oh, I like that idea, actually. I have plenty of Smurfs. That's an interesting idea. Gives me something to do with them as well.
Yeah. All right.
Could do Malcolm as Papa Smurf. All I'd need is a Papa Smurf that's taller than all the rest of the Smurfs. JT says a Smurf in a Spitfire could work. It'd have to be a bloody big Spitfire when the Smurfs are when the Smurfs are that size. GM says, Mikey, only 2 photos. We'll see about that. Ha 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 ha. Jim says, I would like to make an aircraft with the M4H symbol as a form of squadron logo. Yeah. Do what you want. That's the point. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be nice to do something rather than just doing the fundraiser like we did last year, where we just said, if you want to raise money, if you want to put a few quid in, put a few quid in. Because even though that did really well, it'd be nice to actually do another channel build, I think, because we haven't done one for a while. Oh, I did an M4H tank as well. That was just one I did for fun. There you go. M4H tank. That's another one of the decals that comes on the sheet.
All right.
There you go. Yeah. My M4H Tiger tank. Weirdly, a year before, Mr. Morris had built one, and he put the same decal in exactly the same place. And neither of us had known about each other's builds. Nick says, instead of us all building a model, why not all donate a model and let the recipients build them and post on your channel? Because the idea is to raise money for tools, not for kits. So what we did last year is we did the tool fundraiser. So all the money that went to Models for Heroes, Malcolm only spent it on modeling tools and stuff that they send out to the beneficiaries. And he's got a lot of kits.
Yeah. So it's things like cutting mats, knives.
Glue and things, because they go through a lot. Me and Malcolm worked it out, and they go through over £33,000 worth of tools a year, sending out to beneficiaries. So that's one of the things they need most money for, because they get deals buying in bulk and things. Jim says, channel build, I like it. What do you propose as a subject? Tiff says, no specific model, Jim, just has to be an M4H scheme. Yeah. I think it'd be interesting to see what people come up with. Because you can do pretty much anything you want. JT says, I am contemplating a future project. I'm going to try the Z1 West German destroyers, which were former US Navy ships. Tamir has a 1350 kit. That's a good start. I need that and styrene for a D170. Ooh. Jim says, Tiff, I see, thanks. Jim says, back. And Nick says, okay, but how does building a model raise money? Well, build a model doesn't raise money. But what it does encourages the group to participate. Build a sense of camaraderie. Joe says, wow, I get things done during these streams. Glue cockpit on my Edward Spitfire, make wife breakfast, feed fish in the pond, and soapy wash my next build. Glad to be of service.
Which Mark Spitfire there, Joe?
Yeah. Mark 1 or Mark 1000? Joe says, whatever the build is, I'm in. Oh, excellent. Yeah, we just haven't done a group build for a while. I think if we're going to do one in November, whilst we're doing the fundraise, then we might as well make it an M4H themed one. Joe says, Mark 1 early. Ooh.
Ah. Nice.
Yeah. JT says, I love that red and white livery. It's nice, isn't it? Oh, this is off-white.
Oh, he's talking about the Models for Heroes one? Like Spitfire?
Oh, no, that was silver. Aluminium.
No.
Junior says, hi, Dorkosaurus. Dorkosaurus has been in for a while, mate.
Yeah.
Are you not paying attention again, Julian?
He's been away. The carer there.
I know, I'm joking. I jest. We've still got 23 people watching, you mad fools.
Well.
Ooh, 31 hour, 38 minutes. Gone quick. Well, I think it does anyway.
Oh, it sure does.
Joe says, my next build is an AFV M18 Hellkite 135. Nice.
Nice. Yeah. So I'm going to, well, I just sat down with Canva today and made some thumbnails for YouTube sort of things.
Oh, you're actually doing it now?
Well, I sat there like, I was about to throw the iPad in the bin because, Canva was just annoying me. Like, it's not that intuitive.
It is once you get used to it.
Is it though? Because literally just doing thumbnails, but then when you save them, they're nothing like their templates. So, like it'll come in a different size and just come up with bloody idiot. I'm still
do unless you're saving it wrong.
No, I'm just saving it. So I'm starting off as a thing. So I just made one, but that took a couple of hours because, I don't know, you want that font? Well, no, I'll give you this one. No one doesn't exist anymore. And, all the things I had saved earlier aren't on the, what do they call it? So I did see a picture the other day, I think yesterday, the evolution of the trash can icon on laptops and computers.
Yeah.
So all the Windows trash can icons. And the last one is, OneDrive. And I thought, well, that's about right, isn't it?
Yeah. Jim says, Nick, I've hundreds of kits I won't build, but send them to M4H would be frightening. Money or tools a better option. John M, if he is able to start the same in Oz, would receive a big box full.
Yeah, I really need to. So Ian, Aussie Ian, gave me a link last time I saw him for one of our local politicians there asking for submissions for grants to start things for veterans. So I really need to just get on with it. But now, of course, because the house painting is done and all that sort of stuff, I've got time for it now.
Yeah. Go for it, because you've wanted to do it for a few years now.
For years, yeah. But as I think Gary Morris he said, I drag your feet, and I get it. He said, I could see you're not in the right headspace for it at the moment, because I was still sort of recovering.
You're still quite twitchy, weren't you?
I still am now, but
No, you're just angry now.
Oh, yeah.
You're just bitter and twisted.
I'll just,
Jim says, Joe, I had the Air Fee Club Sturm Tiger kit in my stash. Sold it last year at swap meet.
Sturm Tiger.
JT says, Mikey, maybe everyone who makes an M4H kit raffles, sells it, and gives the proceeds to the M4H channel fund. Maybe. It's up to them. Can't tell people what to do with their own selling their own kits and stuff, dude. JT says, this is one of the few places on the internet where there are actually smart people. Not all that weird stuff you see. Keeps me coming back. John makes me laugh. I'm glad John makes everyone laugh, and I don't. Sure, even my daughter said, "Oh, I like John. He's funny." What about me? She went, "Yeah." All right, yeah, thanks, love. June said, "Mikey, pay attention, lol. I was away with Dorcosaurus arrived." JT says, "How did you guys secure your glazing?" Well, mine is that good that it's completely see-through, and I can go woo.
Yeah, it's a bit like Rolf Harris's glasses. There was a comedy skit years ago for, I think, Red Nose Day. A guy was taking the piss out of Rolf Harris. Sunrise early in the morning, spreading all the shite all around.
Lovely. Joe says Jim had
rubbed his eyes, and he doesn't have lenses in there, so it's like that. You can't tell whether there's lenses there or not.
Joe says Jim made contact with a distant relative in California. Her uncle was killed on July 21st, 1944 in a Hellcat. Injured on D-Day landing, recovered from KIA a month later. Oh wow. Recovered then KIA a month later. Not recovered from KIA. That'll be an interesting one. JT says, Mikey, all the windows are open. Yeah, that's my excuse. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
Joe says 651st Tank Destroyer Unit. Yes. So what I might do now, because I can't put the back on yet, because I've got to fucking respray it. I'm going to put the front seat in. Jem says, oh dear, Mikey needs a hug. You are funny, Mikey. No, my nose is not growing. Git. Got 15 minutes.
So the consensus then is, I'm funny and Mikey's funny looking.
John says Joe had a USAAC relative killed in crash in Georgia.
All right.
Jim says, Joe, my respects to your long departed relative. That's quite a soldier.
Yeah.
As you can see, we have quite a dark sense of humor. And I tend not to take death too seriously.
Right. 2 more windows left. 15 minutes. Should be right.
You can do it. Joe says it's wild the number of people killed during training. Yeah.
Oh, it's mad. 70, I think it's over 71,000 German pilot trainees died before they graduated.
Yeah. Well, since in the UK forces, more troops have died outside of conflict than in training accidents than have died in conflict since the Second World War. Which is impressive considering we've had a couple of wars since then.
Yeah. It's a warning to everyone here: don't fly in a plane that I fixed.
we use the one Gary jokes about, the worst mechanic the Air Force ever had.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were perfectly good, John. Perfectly adequate. That sounds like my confidential reports app. Adequate.
Now.
I was quite proud of my confidential report for my basic train, because everyone else had like a page or half a page on what they'd done and stuff like that, and what sort of person they were and things. Mine just said Craftsman and then my surname attended Basingbourne, ATR Basingbourne on these dates. That is, and then that was it, because I gone out of my way to not be noticed. It's quite funny. Made me giggle. JT says, Joe, my relative was the only son. Lenny was about 30. I have a picture of him in uniform. Wait Rose says, one of my early CRs said, I'd be a good leader of men were I not such an enthusiastic follower of women. Nice. Julian says, during World War II, I think more Messerschmitt 109 pilots died in training, landing accidents, and in combat. Yeah. I know we had a full screw, and he was known as the pawn king of our unit. Throughout the whole battalion knew him as the pawn king, because when he went on exercise, on the crew bin on the side of his recovery truck, where you're supposed to put your Bergen in your equipments and stuff, personal equipment, yeah, he couldn't put his in. He had to keep it in the cab because he had it full of metal briefcases full of porn DVDs that he took on exercise with him. And he even wired up a laptop and made like a tray that his laptop could sit on the dashboard, and wired his laptop up into the dashboard so that it could run from the power off the truck, so he could watch porn DVDs whilst he was driving the truck. That's how addicted to it he was.
Crazy.
And one of his confidential reports was Corporal, I'm not going to say his name, but Corporal should not be permitted near new recruits or cadets due to risk of corruption. And he was really supposed to be a confidential report, and he was so proud of it. He was going around the unit showing everyone. Julie says, laugh out loud, Gary. Joe says, John, never forget. Nick says, I do remember as a young 5-year-old boy asked my dad, a World War II glider pilot, how many times he was killed during the war. Because Nick types in caps locks. So
it's a perfectly reasonable question from a 5-year-old, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Joe says, porn DVDs. John had 8 tracks. Gary Morris had porn slates.
Okay. Windows done.
GM says, I did hear that people would rather crash with me as I survived and see the funny side of things. I did ask a co-pilot before impact if he had control or should we prank Jewel. JT says, Joe, I never will. What also got me was my granduncle who was killed in World War One at 18. Major reality check for me when I put the flowers down on his grave in Germany. Yeah. I don't think family history is a bigger thing in Europe, in the UK. We do a lot of us do family history, but we don't really focus on it too much. Focus on ancestry and things. Starting to look a little bit like a bus. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I've still got Magic Bus in my head. All right, one.
Ooh, that fits nice. Ooh.
What, the front bit?
Yeah. Could have gone with painting the edge, but I can do that. I can do that afterwards.
So yeah, I'm not adverse to painting things on sprue, as you can see.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've done for most of it, especially the body work.
Oh, I don't think there's any other way, really. Some of these bits need to be painted before they go on. And yeah. But really, I think the way I've done it so far is pretty much paint sub-assemblies and whack them together at the very end.
Yeah. JT says, do pilots that crash planes have an impact on others?
It depends.
Depends where they crash.
Yeah, and where they're sitting at the time.
Yeah. JT says, I'm finding out more about my family history as I'm getting older. I'm sort of a family historian. There you go.
Yeah. I found, by the time you're interested in it, it's too late to ask. So,
yeah.
It's worth it. It's worth doing. It's interesting. I learned a lot about geography as well as family history because you're Googling it all.
Yeah. And you, of course, learn about criminal records and things. And
no,
jail
that's Bron's side of the family.
Ah, were you the jailers?
Mine were all priests and nuns. One was the Archbishop of Melbourne, for instance.
Yeah.
Second cousin.
I think it was one of my granddad's cousins who was the padre at did the service after the end of the Falklands War. Did the burial service. Waitrose says, my family has an unbroken, until now, fathered son line of men who have been seen active service going back to 1815. Wow.
Yeah, as does mine. Yeah, mine goes to about the same time. But, yeah, like nobody in the family after me is sort of hooked up and, so they'd probably listen to. Oh, no, that's wrong. Tim and Locke and Alicia and his whole family, in fact. But, not a direct line after me because none of my kids are interested.
Yeah.
In anything other than anime.
Yeah. See, none of mine are interested, but my daughter's a chef. My eldest stepson, just wants to sit on his backside playing computer games all day.
Represent.
And the youngest wants to go and work in Airbus and build planes. I said to him, why don't you join the Air Force or something? And he went, well, no, because if you join the military, then you get killed. And I went, I didn't. He went, yeah, but you were lucky. I was like, yeah, it doesn't quite work like that, buddy. If you're in the Air Force, you're probably a good few miles behind the lines. Junior says, on FB, I'm an admin of a group reuniting families, owners with lost or stolen medals. Pretty busy group, yeah.
Oh, great.
I lost my Iraq medal in a car crash years ago. So
Why
mine's
was it driving?
Sorry?
Why was it driving?
No, I had it in the glove box, and the car got written off, and I got taken to hospital. And when we went to go and check the car in the scrapyard, it wasn't there anymore. We couldn't find it. So, yeah, I don't know where that's gone. So I've got a replica, an accurate copy made, because the MOD won't replace medals unless it's been stolen. Jem says, JT, you'd better believe it. Jem says, JT, the look on their faces is priceless. JT, my family is motivated by my cousin in hospice. Sorry to kill the joking mood. Sad someone dying is a motivator to learn about family. Yeah. Julian says, wait, Rose, I'm guessing 1815 was a Battle of Waterloo. Now, I did do family history, and one of my granddad's ancestors was at the Battle of Waterloo.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the one of the ones at the farm?
Oh, yeah, starts with H.
Yeah. Julian says, no, I've read that one. JT says, Julian, reunited, and it feels so good. Joe says, that's great, Julian. And Jem says, we didn't lose anyone in training ever. We returned the bodies straight away. Joe says, very sad, JT. See what I mean? I've got such a dark sense of humour. I don't take death seriously. Life's too serious as it is. JT says, thanks, Joe. Waitro says, no, he missed Waterloo on account of being wounded at Quatre Bras a few days earlier. There we go.
Wow.
So we're at the end of the 2 hours.
All right.
And I must say, it's starting to look pretty good. Except for my little faux pas with painting the bloody back end. Shall we have a closer look before we go?
Yeah.
Let's have a closer look. So if I focus, there you go. We've got all the sea stone and things inside. It's looking all right, I think. Lovely colour.
Yes. Nice and bright.
Ooh, that does look good. I like it. There you go.
So I'm plonking. Oh yeah, that's
very red.
Yeah. All of a sudden, by putting these sidewalls on, it's built it up.
Yeah.
Well.
It's making me want to build the coal truck version.
Yeah, I was thinking about donating that to the Better Looking Marley, because if he wants it, but he probably won't, because he doesn't like
you
ugly things. Me, yeah, me.
It's the same thing, really, isn't it?
So how's that going?
There we go. Oh, that is going to look beautiful. I'm impressed.
Okay.
I've impressed myself with this. Anyway.
All right, so here's mine then. Plonk. So my Twix bars. There we go. So yeah, much the same. But come together. Yeah, it's good. I don't know. Next week, what happens next week? Building the top deck.
Yes.
Well, I've got to paint my little lady to stick down there before, because I won't be able to get in the windows anymore. So she'll be plonking her derriere right in that very spot there. In fact, so I've opened up all the windows just because I could. They don't open much, but they open enough.
What you
need to retouch them all. Glue.
Which type of glue, John?
Well, because they're plastic frames. So the windows going into the frames is just a touch of extra thin, because if it just wicks around the edge, it won't sort of fog up, and it hasn't. And then the windows frames themselves, it's all done with the proper, the contactor, because it's plastic and plastic. So there's that. And that will go plonk like that. So yeah, next week I'll build that up. But yeah,
Lovely.
looking all right.
Well done.
It
Well
was
done.
stuff happened, it went together.
Yeah. Last few comments. JT, what a great stream. I enjoy these. This is a fun build. It is.
It really is. Yeah.
JT, Gary was wounded at by bras. Yes, because he was chasing women too much, apparently.
Something we can all
says,
aspire to.
Joe, most of those posting are people whose previous generations have lost soul giving away medals. Yeah. Joe, great chat stream. I tee off in an hour and a half. See you guys soon. See you later, Joe. Judy says, lucky then Waitrose, not to be wounded, obviously, but to miss Waterloo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob, I always thought Quatre Bras was the location of where Wellington slept the night before Waterloo. No. Joe says, looks great, John. Lovely. Duke says, looking good, guys. Thank you. Bob says, must have been a hell of a party. Yeah. June says, no, Bob, he slept in the village of Waterloo. Jem says, old buses, I see. Yes. Bob, the Battle of Quatre Bras, then. Yes. Julian, Butcher wanted it called the Battle of La Belle Alliance, a closer village. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stu
That's
says,
what
thanks.
I learned. So I'm reading Les Mis. In there's a 57-page account of Waterloo because, Victor Hugo loves getting sidetracked, and he made the point in that it wasn't there anywhere near Waterloo at all. It's actually on this particular thing. Yeah.
It just sounds better, and it's easier for the soldiers to pronounce.
Yeah, but it's also saying if you go there, it's nothing like the landscape where the battle was, because they remanufactured it all and sort of smooshed it all around and made a big hill that wasn't there, and the highest part of the landscape where Wellington sort of hid over the ridge so people couldn't count the horsemen and stuff like that. Yeah, sounded like a hell of a battle, but imagine the cleanup.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, they're still digging up. There's a charity in the UK that it takes veterans out to go and do archaeological digs on military battlefields and things. And one of the ones they're doing is the Waterloo battlefield, and they're finding mass graves and everything.
So we're talking about the strength of these. This I just pop the roof on there, fits perfectly, and there's absolutely no sort of slack at all. It just builds up really well into a fairly strong case.
Yeah.
But my roof will stay separate until the lady's painted and plonked.
Painted and plonked.
The painted lady.
There we go. Right.
Nice.
Now then, for those with the Corporal 11 membership, we've got members only of the Corporal's Mess live stream tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. So don't forget to join us for that. Get your money's worth out of the channel and all that. For the rest of you, we shall be back on Thursday, 12 till 2, with the Desert Wings build. That should be fun. So yeah, until then, hulvar for now.
Hooray.